New videos every day.
In a previous video, I gave you my top 5 tips for getting through childbirth. In this video, we're going to explore tip number 3. Don't take it lying down, get up and shake your groove thing. I'm Susan Steffes, a prenatal postpartum physical therapy specialist, certified birth doula, and childbirth educator, and part of the Relate team. As I said, I'm here today to talk to you about alternate birth positions and movement, and how it can make your childbirth easier and more efficient. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is gravity. Let's face it, gravity works. It works on us, and it works on our babies. If you think about it, if you're in a semi-reclined position, semi-sitting, semi-reclined, the baby is in kind of a gravity-neutral position. To get the baby to engage into the pelvis and later into the birth canal, upright positions are going to be most helpful by using gravity. So tip number 1 is to remember that gravity works. So in the same vein of thinking about how gravity works, positions that you would want to assume to help in that would be things like sitting or squatting. Now I'm sitting on a physio ball, or a birth ball as we call it in the birth world, to help with supporting the perineum or supporting the pelvic floor, but yet giving me the ability to use gravity in a comfortable way. So I'm not sitting on a hard seat, which can be very uncomfortable when you're laboring. It also allows me to move my hips, to move my pelvis, which can help the baby kind of navigate its way down and into the pelvis. So I'm utilizing not only gravity, but movement as well to help that baby navigate down, which will make my labor more comfortable and much more efficient for the baby to be birthed. So another position and movement that you could use, both to facilitate the birth and also for your comfort and to open the pelvis, is to utilize lunging or kneeling. Lunging allows the pelvis to open and allows the baby a better angle down into the pelvis. Again, this will ease your labor and allow the baby to move down efficiently. So the key to this video is not to take it lying down. We're talking about alternate positions and mobility of the pelvis. Hands and knees is one of the best positions you can use, both for comfort as well as for ease of delivery. You can use a birth ball or physio ball to support your upper extremities, your arms, so that you're not putting pressure through your wrists down on the floor. And again, it allows you mobility so that you can rock back and forth or sway or allow the pelvis to move and open up. Mobility is key. I'm going to transition now and show you with my baby and pelvis exactly what happens when you're in the hands and knees position. So I'm going to show you with my baby and pelvis here what some of the traditional birth positions actually disadvantageously position you in, and the baby. If you think about being flat on your back, or even semi-reclined or semi-sitting, the baby's sitting in the pelvis this way, or flat this way. Now we already know the benefits of gravity, but let's talk about how the baby's fitting into the pelvis. The baby's head right now, in a reclined position, is sitting on the sacrum. The tailbone, or the coccyx, connects as well and has mobility. When you're flat on your back or semi-sitting, the baby's head is basically trapping the sacrum and tailbone against the bed. So there's no mobility in the pelvis. It can't get out of the way. This causes a great amount of pain to the mother and can actually end up, very rarely, but can end up in a broken tailbone. So why in the world would you want to subject yourself to that? Good question. There are many alternatives, whether you have a natural labor and delivery or whether you use an epidural. You still have options for positioning. Now say you're having a natural delivery without the use of medications. My number 1 position is the hands and knees. When you're on your hands and knees, the sacrum and tailbone are up towards the ceiling. The baby now, as it passes through the birth canal, exerts pressure on the sacrum and the tailbone, but it's free to move up and out of the way. No pain for the mom, or less pain for the mom, and no risk of a broken tailbone. Baby's able to pass through unobstructed. Hands and knees for a mom with an epidural is still possible with good support. Another reason to hire a doula. However, if you find that the epidural prohibits you from being in hands and knees and you don't have the support you need physically, then side lying is my number 2 position. Most doctors will be just fine with the side lying position. When you're in side lying, the pressure is exerted against the bed on one hip. The baby is able to pass through the canal and exert pressure on both the sacrum and the coccyx, and it is still free to move out of the way. No broken tailbone, less pain. So the last thing I want to talk to you about today is positions of rest. So as you're laboring, we know that we want to move. We know that we want to use gravity. We know that we want to change positions often. But what about that time when you really just need to rest? Is it okay to lie on your back? Is it okay to be semi-sitting? What's going to not impede the progress of your labor but actually help to speed it along? I mean, let's face it. Are you in this for the longest labor possible? You really need to adopt the attitude of let's get this party started and bring it on. Efficient, effective contractions is what you're really going for here. So remember to use those positions, even when you're resting. Let your body do the work for you. Now, I don't recommend standing on your head or even sleeping standing up, but a position of side lying, just as we showed you in the previous take, will help to actually not use gravity, but it doesn't eliminate gravity either. It's a gravity-neutral position. The uterus can still do the work of pushing the baby down through the birth canal while you're able to rest. Hopefully more pain-free because the sacrum and coccyx can move, but allowing you to rest comfortably. So as you head into childbirth, remember that gravity works. Use it to your advantage. Use positions of ease and comfort, like sitting or squatting. Use movements and motions like dancing, lunging, and kneeling that will help to open up the pelvis and allow the baby to travel down the birth canal much more efficiently and effectively. Don't forget that when you're resting, use positions that will allow your uterus to continue to do the work for you while you get the needed rest. And lastly, remember, mobility is key, not just yours, but that of your pelvis. Assume a hands and knees position to allow free movement of the sacrum and coccyx for your comfort and for the ease of the baby. In a future video, I'll be discussing advanced coping measures for labor and delivery. I hope you'll join me then. Remember to like my video and leave any comments. Please feel free to ask any questions and subscribe to our channel.